Welcome to the Gone Fishing Podcast, episode number 41. In today's episode, I'll be discussing catching the winds of the crypto opportunity with ZTEG. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Gone Fishing Podcast. Join Ron Bouchard as he casts a wide net sharing his philosophy of life, business, and success, and goes fishing for wisdom in interviews with other entrepreneurs, authors, and thought leaders. You'll hear their stories of triumph and tribulation. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur trying to succeed outside the confines of the current of social expectation, bring the bait and join us for Gone Fishing.
Welcome to the Gone Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Ron Bouchard. A little old woman walked into a prominent department store one rainy day and wandered up and down the aisles. She did not look like the kind of person who could afford the finer things, and therefore the clerks didn't pay any attention to her. None except one of them. This young man was not one of the regular clerks. He was new and inexperienced. He had not yet been working there long enough for the others to have influenced him. He stepped up to the old lady, helped her with her purchase, escorted her to the door, and raised her umbrella for her. As she left, she asked for his card. Later, an order came to the store for furnishings for one of the finest mansions in all of the world. With the order came the request that this same young man be sent to oversee the installation of such furnishings. The manager of the store protested. The young man was inexperienced, that the store had many more experienced men. But the customer insisted that this young man be the one to oversee the work, and thus he was to receive all the commission. The customer who placed the order and requested the services of that young man was none other than Mrs. Andrew Carnegie, wife of the steel magnate. She was that old woman whom this young man had shown unusual courtesy to, while all the other clerks looked in the other direction. Opportunity knocked, and this young man was found home. Opportunity never comes in silks or satins, nor is it heralded by the blowing of horns or by a brass band. It usually sneaks up on you when you're not expecting it. Sometimes it's even dressed in overalls and looks like work. Opportunity exists all around us, but most of us fail to recognize it because the currents of social expectation have made us more experienced people not able to see it. For most people, even if we did recognize it, our lack of a strong foundation would make it really impossible for us to take advantage of it at all. We survive the sea of life by the strength of the boat we build, and most of us never learn how to build anything more than a rowboat. The problem with rowboats is that they are not very durable, and they're not able to withstand the open ocean, nor do they offer any protection from the storm. A rowboat is also not strong enough to carry a mast, and without a mast, you'll never be able to unfurl your sails and to recognize and catch the winds of opportunity that blow by every single day. Today's guest has spent his life providing value to people across the world through his creation of exceptional products and services. He has also made it possible for people to recognize and take advantage of opportunities that would otherwise be inaccessible to them. Today, he's going to be talking about ZTEG Crypto, which is designed to provide patterns that can help people to make better decisions. Please welcome the CEO of Ztegrity, Troy Mason. Hello, Troy. Welcome to the Gone Fishing Podcast. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
I'm not doing bad. So, Troy, there is so much talk on the internet and circles about cryptocurrency. Can you please explain what cryptocurrency is for the listeners who might not know?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of explain it from the layman's term here, okay? it's basically electronic money, okay? And we're used to currency, of course, being in the form of something that we can hold in our hands or whatever, but typically money has been in electronic format for quite some time with banking systems and stuff like that. But with cryptocurrency, it is set up in such a way that individuals now can have control over an electronic version of their own currency. And there are multiple currencies out here or what have you, and often can be exchanged with each other from one currency to another. But the bottom line is that this new technology that allows an individual to have control over their own currency is gaining more and more popularity because people just, prefer to not have to have control over their own money. And very few people have it today. About 2% of the people have some form of cryptocurrency. But just like back in the day, people had very few people had a cell phone. Very few people used to have television. Very few people used to have microwave. But now something virtually everybody has. So that's going to happen to cryptocurrency. Virtually everybody's going to have it and use it in some shape or form. And I'll tell you something else going to happen is that your currency is going to become customized. So let's say that you are with a particular religious group, or you went to a particular college, or you want a person who wants to save trees or something like that. There'll be currencies that's designed for different subsets of society that you'll be able to access and utilize, to do the business or things that you want to do based on the currency and your affiliation with that particular group.
So, and it's also decentralized, right? So
very much so. So again, it has nothing to do with your movements or whatever. If you wanted to send someone in another country some cryptocurrency, you could do so without it going through any entity or anything like that. You can go person to person and send them, which is, if you know anything about moving money around today, it's very difficult to move money, especially from country to country. Cryptocurrency, you can do it whether they are next door to you or they're on the other side of the world. You can send them money.
So why should listeners be interested in investing in cryptocurrency? What is it about cryptocurrency that should appeal to them?
Okay. Well, I think that cryptocurrency is going to generate the largest transference of wealth that really the world has ever seen. Because what's really even more interesting about it is that it's happening right now. Okay. So I would say that 5 years earlier than now and 5 years from today, that the window to be able to get involved with crypto and really be able to profit from it will be gone. 5 years ago, people didn't quite, Bitcoin came, nobody really quite understood it except for maybe a handful of people. And those people who got it at that point and had Bitcoin when it was very cheap, $1, under $1, or even under $10, that, a lot of those people became millionaires, okay? Some even billionaires. And so it's, believe it or not, these currencies that are new currencies are coming up every day. And the ones that have something, a little niche about them or whatever that can attract an audience, they have an opportunity to duplicate some of that success that Bitcoin had and help people make.
So what do you see the biggest problem facing investors in getting into cryptocurrency? What do you think the biggest challenge is?
Before I got into crypto, because I really wasn't interested in it, but as it became more and more popular and I started seeing all these different currencies pop up, it's something that I noticed that literally blew me away. And that in my research, I found that over $1 trillion a day, people are spending buying cryptocurrency in order to try and make money, okay? But what I noticed was that the biggest problem I saw was that when people buy cryptocurrency, they literally may have heard it from a friend, somebody told them about it or whatever, or they've seen it in some social media post or something like that. And so they run out and they go buy something, okay? And they know absolutely nothing about cryptocurrency. They have no strategy. They know nothing. And so what they're doing is they actually go buy this currency, and then they literally cross their fingers and hope that the price will go up. And I even seen this with the experts, that they had no idea what was going to happen, whether the price is going to go up and down, up and down. As a matter of fact, what I really realized was that people were asking the wrong question when it came to cryptocurrency. Everybody was asking, what currency should I buy? What currency should I buy? What's the hot new currency? And this and that. But that really was the wrong question. A better question would have been, when is the right time to buy a particular currency? Not which currency to buy. Because there are people, the most popular currency in the world is Bitcoin. There are people who bought Bitcoin when it went up to $60,000. A lot of people bought it at $60,000. The next day, Bitcoin was $30,000. Nothing wrong with Bitcoin. It's the most popular currency in the world. The people who bought it at 60 just bought it at the wrong time. And then you have currencies that nobody never heard of, okay? Never heard of it or whatever. And there are people that buy this currency, and within a short period of time, this currency is up 10, 20,000%, okay? And this happens, all the time, but it's not because of the currency, it's because they bought it at the right time. But again, that brings about the problem. Nobody knows when is the right time to buy. And so what they're really doing, when they buy it, it's like they're getting on a raft in the middle of the ocean, and they're hoping that the currents will take them to Hawaii. They have no motor on the raft. They have no rudder. They have no sail. They have nothing. And they're just hoping the currents will take them to Hawaii. And some people make it, but the majority of people don't. So I think the biggest issue that's out there is that with every cryptocurrency out there, it does not have a pattern to it that the average person can look at it and know when is a good time to buy and when is not a good time to buy, or when is a good time to sell. There's just simply not a pattern that the average person, or even a lot of the experts, can look at and figure out.
So Ztegrity did something a little different, right, with ZTEG Crypto?
Yeah. Well, when I was ZTEG Crypto, once I realized that all the other currencies did not have a pattern, and again, from my business background, what I did is when I, again, looked at cryptocurrency, I looked at it, and this is not a slight on anybody, but I can tell you that the bulk of people who create cryptocurrencies they're not real like business people. Okay, they were like computer people. Okay, and there's a big gap between a business person and a computer person, because when a computer person creates something, it makes sense to them, but it rarely makes sense to the general public. Okay, to them, they can look at it and say, wow, okay, yeah, this boom, 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 and whatever. And but to the general public, they go, what in the world is going on? Okay. But so as a businessman, I look at it and I say, okay, how can we simplify this? Okay. How can we give something that has no pattern? How can we give it a pattern? And so when you ask, okay, what pattern should a person be looking for? And it's really quite simple. Here it is, right? I'm gonna give it to you. You want to be able to buy low and sell high.
Well, that's revolutionary. I've never heard that
I
before.
mean, hey, give me my Nobel Peace Prize. I'll take it down because that's the key. All right. But you would be amazed at people who buy cryptocurrency without any kind of strategy. And what they end up doing is they end up selling not because the price was high, but because somebody else sold. And they panicked and sold because they saw other people selling, not because selling the cryptocurrency met their agenda, because they didn't have an agenda. They didn't have a strategy. They went into it blind, and bought currency and had no idea what patterns to look for, or whatever. And so they, it was virtually impossible for them to know what to do and when to do, because all of the currencies out here now, that they basically don't have a pattern. And we figured out a way to create a cryptocurrency that has a pattern.
Yeah, most people act due to social expectation. So if it's keeping up with the Joneses. If people are buying, then everybody goes and buys. If people are selling, everybody goes and sells. But you have to do quite the opposite of what everybody else is doing if you want to make it, right?
Sure. Actually, Warren Buffett said it best. He says, when everybody else is selling, that's when he buys.
Yeah.
That's when he buys. And so if you think about it for a minute, it makes sense. However, I can tell you that the vast majority of people do not do that. They don't do it. And so I 100% believe it's because they don't know any better, number one. And number two, they just simply don't have a strategy. So because when you don't know what to do, then self-preservation will make you just simply make bad judgment calls, okay? So what we did to try and make this where the cryptocurrency has some type of pattern to it is really is unique, okay? The first thing I noticed when I started doing my research on cryptocurrency is that virtually every currency, when it comes out, it goes up in value, okay? And when it goes up in value, initially, people start to sell it, and then it goes back down in value as people start taking profits. Well, that's normal. Every cryptocurrency goes through that. Goes up, comes down, and then it hits what I call a volatility stage, where it just kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So most time when people buy cryptocurrency, they buy during that volatility stage where it's going up and down, up and down, up and down, all right? And they're trying to catch that exponential growth stage where it went up. But often it comes, by the time most people hear about it, is already people are selling off and it's in volatility, okay? So I said, well, instead of that situation just happening once, what if we could create a currency that could recreate that over and over and over again? And this is how we did it. When you look at our cryptocurrency, you go to our website, we actually put a clock on our website, a countdown clock, all right? Now this countdown clock, every Thursday at 12 Central, that clock ticks down to 0 every week. When it hits 0, the actual address for the currency is made available so that new people can buy our currency. So if a new person goes to our website to want to buy our currency, Friday, they can't. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they cannot buy it, okay? They can just look at the clock. And now on Thursday when they come, all of these people who are interested in buying come and buy at the same time. Now this is key right here to creating the pattern. When all of this energy of people from the whole week come in on Thursday, 12 noon, and they start buying, that triggers our currency to go into exponential growth. And what you'll see is the price just start going up, okay? And so, again, once you see the price going up on Thursdays, and you see it going up, well, if you're a person who's trying to sell some cryptocurrency or whatever, or make some money or whatever, remember that old statement that that I think I'm waiting on the Nobel Peace Prize to get: buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
So on Thursdays, the price typically will go up and be higher. So if you're going to sell when the price is high, all right? But then as people are selling, the price comes down. So then by the end of the day on Thursday, the price is down. And so remember that old thing, buy low? Okay. So on Friday, we call that Smart Money Friday, because on Friday, the prices are typically going to be at its lowest. So if you know when the prices are going to be high, and you know when the prices are going to be at their lowest, nothing wrong with it. It's designed to go up and come back down. It's designed to do that. No currency ever designed just goes straight up. They all come up, go down, go up, come down, go up. But what you're looking for is when it comes back down, it goes up, comes back down. It doesn't come back down to the point to where it started. It comes down to a point here, and then that's Friday, where it's at typically its lowest price, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever. Throughout the week, you can buy more of it when it's cheap. Knowing that Thursday, the new people that have accumulated, and we advertise and promote it so that new people find out about it. But remember, they cannot come in, in the middle of the week. They have to come in on a Thursday. When they come in, they create that exponential growth again. That creates the price goes up, and then people are selling or whatever, price comes down, nothing wrong with that. People then who are long-term holders, they're able to buy more currency at a cheaper price. They buy it, and as the week goes out, they know when the price, again, it has a pattern to it. So again, if you know or have a good idea when the prices are going to be low, and you have a good idea when the prices are going to be high, a fifth grader can make money. It's a pattern that you can identify and look at and utilize to your benefit, okay? And really, it's pretty much as simple as that, okay?
So people just need to go to your website on Thursdays, and they'll be able to see the clock and purchase.
Sure. Okay. Now, let me tell you, because there's some strategies to this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Two types of people who buy crypto.
Okay.
Now, whichever one you are is okay, but it's good to understand that there's really kind of two strategies. The first person is a person who buys crypto and sells it, okay, to make profit, okay? The second person is someone who buys crypto and holds it.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna share with you before I tell you about the two people is that you will never find a cryptocurrency person, millionaire who made a lot of money with cryptocurrency who was a buy and seller. They always buy and hold with crypto. And I'm going to show you why. Okay, here's why. Let's say that both types, buy and sell, buy and hold. Let's say the people who buy and sell, both of them are in the Apple business. Okay, they both sell apples for a living. So the buyer and seller, he buys some apples. So he'll spend, say, $1,000, give me $1,000 worth of apples. The apples cost $1 a piece when he buys it. So he's 1,000 apples, right?
Yep.
So now the apples go up in price to say $5 an apple. So he says, wow, I have 1,000 apples that are now worth $5 a piece. Let me sell my 1,000 apples. He sells his 1,000 apples, and for $5,000, he makes a $4,000 profit. Not bad, he's okay. Problem is he's no longer in the Apple business. He just sold all his inventory. So then what he does, or she does, is they go back and say, well, let me make some more money. So let me take another $1,000 and go buy another $1,000 worth of apples. But now the apples are worth $10 a piece instead of he had his first apples at $1. He sold them for $5. Then he turned around and bought more for $10. And if you can do the math on this, and you can see that his same $1,000 only bought 100 apples the second time. The first time he had 1,000 apples. Okay, but he sold all of those and bought them back for a lot more than double what he sold them for. So whereas he can then wait for those 100 apples to be worth $5,000 more in value and sell them, and then the next time he comes back and buy more apples, he's going to get less and less apples or whatever, and he can still make his profits or whatever. But at some point in time, he'll get to the point to where the apples become so expensive that he's having to spend a lot more than $1,000. So it's just not a good long-term strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the person who buys and holds. The way he sets up his business is, instead of him buying, he says, well, you know what? I'm not going to start selling apples today. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to plant apple seeds, okay? And I'm going to plant these apple seeds, and I'm going to give them time to grow. So I bought $1,000 worth of apple seeds. I plant them, and I let them grow into apple trees. Now I have an orchard, an apple orchard that's worth $100,000. Once my orchard is grown, I can now go to my orchard every week, take $2,500 worth of apples out of my orchard, take them and sell them, okay? Next week, I go back, I take $2,500 more worth of apples because my trees have grown more apples, okay? Because I own the trees. So now I am making $2,500 a week. That's $10,000 a month in residual income. That's $120,000 a year. Let's say I let my apple orchard grow to $1 million. Then I can go to my orchard every week, take $25,000 out of apples, sell them, go back to my orchard the next week, pull $25,000, and continue that process over and over and over. That's how people who hold let it grow to the point to where the apples then start to pay them over and over and over again, because it's replenishing itself, because the way they let it grow into something substantial. The guy who buys his apples is just buying a bag of apples. The minute they're gone, they're never going to replenish itself. He has to physically go and buy more apples as the value goes up. So once you understand that, again, the way we structured our cryptocurrency is we don't care if you're a short-term buyer and seller, that's fine. Or if you're the kind of person who want to buy and hold and let it grow into something substantial and then pay yourself for really, the rest of your life and even your children's life. So that's kind of important for people to understand when they go into cryptocurrency. And it's something that really nobody in the industry is breaking down and showing people a strategy and what to do and how to make money.
But you must have to invest lots of money to get started, right? $1 million.
Actually, no. It doesn't take much money at all. Truth be told, you can start as little as $100, but I suggest about $500 to $1,000. And if you can do 1,000, certainly would do 1,000. And here's the reason for 1,000. $1,000 really puts you in a sweet spot, so that as the value goes up, especially if you're a person who wants to hold long term, okay, that $1,000, when you multiply it out over time, and again, we're not talking about years here, we're talking about the way our currency is structured, really literally over months, okay, it can multiply and multiply and multiply and get you to that your threshold to where you're at the point to where you can start pulling apples every week. I'll tell you that we had people that put 1,000 in that in a very short period of time was up $15,000 to $17,000. Okay. And in crypto space, that's not unusual. Okay. It's not unusual for that kind of stuff to happen. So if you're going to do this is something, again, that I suggest. This is my, again, I'm not a financial planner. And so I'm not here to give you financial advice or anything like that, because I can't do that. However, what I would say is that once you see the pattern, okay, and it makes sense to you, if what I'm saying makes sense, buy low, sell high, and the pattern is there for you to look at and see, okay, and you understand it, then treat it as a business, okay? You wouldn't start a business with, with $100 worth of inventory when you can start with $1,000 worth of inventory. Your business, you'd have a much better business with more inventory if you can afford it. So, but get in, my suggestion is start wherever you're comfortable, okay? And never invest more money than you can comfortably afford to lose. Because in this world we live in, there's always risk involved with anything that you do. Nothing is 100% risk-free. However, but this one here is one that I believe that most people should not let this bus pass them by.
Yeah, and you said especially for the next 5 years, right?
Yeah, I think that the opportunity here is so great right now that if you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, nothing at all, you have two choices, really, and you want to get involved. You can go and buy a cryptocurrency that 100% has no patterns to it whatsoever. You will just be buying it blind, with a blindfold on, with one arm tied behind your back, hoping that the price goes up and does what you want it to. Or you can buy a cryptocurrency that is designed to show you where you can read the patterns, okay? And once you feel comfortable that you can kind of see the patterns of whatever, you can then make better decisions. So I think that the market space is wide open for people. I think everybody wants to be in this space. I think that it's a great space to be in. I think that being in this space and having the ability to be able to understand what you're doing, not just be in it, and be lost, but be in it and feel confident in your decisions that you're able to make. I think that that's a winning combination.
So where can people find out more about Ztegrity Crypto and about your company?
What you do is you simply go to our website. It's ZTEGCrypto.com. That's ZTEG Crypto, CRYPTO.com. Go to that website. You'll see the clock, follow the instructions and what have you. You'll have to purchase, you have to download a Trust Wallet on your phone, and then you'll have to purchase some smart chain cryptocurrency. Our platform runs on smart chain. Once you have a smart chain currency, then you have to swap it out for our ZTEG Crypto. Swap it out for that, and you're in. You're done. Okay. And then we have a Telegram group that when you're on the website, if you look up in the navigation bar, you'll see Telegram. Click on that and join the Telegram group. There's a lot of very, very intelligent, sharp people that are there to help you. If you have any questions or whatever, they're there to help you. But just know that no matter what you do, when you come to our website, you will not be able to complete your purchase and own our cryptocurrency if you're new until Thursday. Once you're a customer, you can buy it any day of the week, okay? And so again, when you see prices low on Friday or Saturday or what have you, you want more, go buy more, because our currency is very, very inexpensive today. Just like there was a time when Bitcoin was very inexpensive. When you find a coin that's very inexpensive, or token or cryptocurrency is very inexpensive, you want to accumulate it. okay? Accumulate it, because the more you accumulate, as the price and value goes up, and what makes the price go up is how popular it becomes, okay? When more people find out that there's a currency that has a pattern to it that anybody can recognize and see and use to make better decisions, then they're going to gravitate towards that currency versus buying one that gives them no clue, okay? And so when they do that, that currency becomes more popular. The more popular it becomes, the more valuable it becomes, and the more money you can make from that growth.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Troy, for being here today. And you can also find out about Troy and about ZTEG and ZTEG Crypto by following the links in the show notes of today's episode. So thank you very much for being here.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Anything you need, Ron, just let me know. I'm here to help.
Okay, thank you very much.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Gone Fishing Podcast. Connect with us at www.waypointmastermind.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter to receive our free tools and resources. This podcast has been brought to you by Waypoint Mastermind. Personal growth and support through collaboration with a community of like-minded achievers. See you in the next episode.